Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently building things. A lot of things. And we'll keep doing this for a little bit. We've got 62 weeks on our construction queue, which considering we've got 37 pages queued up here, that's not so bad. 17 of those weeks are on our power plants. And that's looking really, really solid, actually. So our economy is doing well. We are number one worldwide, although we've dipped a little bit briefly. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Our gold mines are going to be done in 8 weeks, and all things considered, this is looking good. Do we want to enact migration controls to disallow discriminated pops from migrating? I mean, there's slightly more dissent than there is support for it. Would this actually be beneficial for us? Probably not, realistically. So I don't think there's that much of a use for it. Hello. What are the changes available here in our colonial affairs? I suppose we could do colonial exploitation. We don't have colonies or unincorporated states. Tension decay, huh? Decentralized nations. Yeah, we don't have any of those. So this is completely irrelevant, but this might be an interesting bone that we can throw the industrialists, literati, scholar officials, and armed forces. This does nothing for us, but it makes our most powerful clout happier. So I think we do it, to be honest. I think that's really, really solid. We're not going to do anything with it, but it's definitely something that we can toss at our political side. So that sounds absolutely good to me. We're at 107k financially right now. We could think potentially about eventually cutting our services and porcelain consumption taxes. Those would be nice to cut, no doubt about that. And I'd like to eventually cut our economy, but all of that is really expensive. Like, in order to get all of that cut, we're looking at, what, like almost 3 million in tax surplus? That's a lot. That's a whole lot. So it's a potential option to work towards. We're certainly not going to get there without additional tech. That's for sure. What is our gross income? Not our net income, but our gross income. 4.67. So we'd have to nearly double our national revenue. So like a 1.2 billion GDP, somewhere around there would be our target if we wanted to do that. I mean, that's a theoretical possibility, especially as technology continues to come in. We are getting up close to 60% literacy. We're moving up the ranks now. We're at 81 worldwide in literacy. I like it. What is this revolution for? Migration controls? I mean, they're capped at 50, so this isn't actually going to do anything. Maybe we enact migration controls after colonial exploitation. We'll see. For the time being, I'm not 100% convinced by that. So we are, of course, currently working on researching socialism. There's 14 months left on that, and the point behind that is to go down to political agitation to get the Boxer Rebellion going on. Identification documents is being exposed right now. What else is being exposed? Let's see here. Gantry cranes. Okay, port max level, sure. Steel railway cars is not actually being exposed, nor is vulcanization, I don't think. Actually, no, vulcanization is. Steam turbine is not. Okay. So overall, it's slightly awkward. Oh, hey, we just hit number 5 in the world. Cool. I mean, we could go to number 1 if we wanted to. We'd have some financial issues, but we could do it. Hey, we're starting to build naval bases. I like it. So we finished up all of our power plants. I mean, we have a couple being built here. Those are auto-queued. I do want to check in on our infrastructure situation. And yeah, we're going to need some. Okay, so we're building a few here and there. Here, though, we need 6 in total. So we'll work on that. Excellent. Yeah, that's going to take a little bit of time, but overall that's looking good. Our unemployment numbers have gone up to 18.4 million, but our peasant numbers have dropped. We clearly need to get more construction going. I think that's very, very obvious. That said, we do have explosives, and when I first started up the game, it was saying that tools were considered expensive. This trade route can be gotten rid of, absolutely. So we should work on our explosives and tools. I think that's very clear. The Emperor can definitely intervene here. That seems reasonably fine. And I wanted to check in on our government administrations really quick here. Yeah, that's looking quasi-okay. Wait, we have 5 queued up here? Why? We only need 1. I'm not sure why we had those queued up. Okay, that's a little strange, I'm not gonna lie, but whatever. That is fine. So that's looking good. We are currently negative financially, and the reason for that is what? What do we change? Driving down the price of electricity, maybe? Maybe. But we can run a deficit for right now. That's completely okay. I do want to get some tooling workshops being worked on. Now, we know that our actual economy of scale cap is 31. Wow, there's 14 queued up in Tuva right now. Interesting. So I want to add in, like here, we'll add in 8. There are a number of tooling workshops queued up in the auto construction. There are some chemical plants as well. Let's take this up to plus 15. And we'll just get that underway, working on our explosives and tooling costs. That'll be fine. That said, eventually, we can go to, like, pneumatic tools. Building hardwood output just flat without being an additional production method. That's interesting. The construction sector building throughput would be definitely nice. We have a lot of tech in here that I want to get. There's no doubt about that. This radicalism bumped up to 78. Because these interest groups are currently angry. Okay, they shouldn't be able to get too much more than this, so it should be okay. Colonial exploitation is going to be finishing up soon. We'll dip back into the positives very shortly here. And we're about to hit 700 million in our GDP. There we go. Cool. We're definitely pulling ahead of France at this point, and we have a lot of economic headroom to still work here. We've got 18 million unemployed. We've got 61 million peasants. It's looking reasonable. The major question is this revolution. We'll see how that goes. They really want migration controls, and I don't think it's actually that bad to do, necessarily. We may end up passing it just to throw these guys a bone. Probably not the worst of ideas. So these chemical plants are being worked on, as are the tooling workshops. Our railways are going to be finishing up eventually. We're down to 22 pages, and a lot of these are naval bases, and those will finish up reasonably quickly. Yeah, so that's looking good there. I like it. We'll let that continue to grow for a bit. I would definitely like to bring up our standard of living. And what is the best way to do that? Well, a good way to do that would be to bump up our social security. And we do have some surplus right now. How much are we currently paying? So this would be a doubling of our welfare payments. But it would reduce their political strength when receiving welfare. Noted. Really, I think one of our best things to do would be to get some more labor rights. Like regulatory bodies would be a really good thing to do here. We just don't have the support for it, is all there is to it. So for now, that's okay. We'll see what happens with colonial exploitation. The ethics of exploitation. It's, we can concede some of their points. Cool. So that's fine for now. 718 is our GDP. How are we doing in terms of expensive goods? Opium is still considered expensive, and if opium is considered expensive right now, we do want to do something about that. So I'm going to bring this up to plus 20 and plus 20. There's plenty of arable land for that for now. So we'll get that underway. And we're still working on everything else in the background, of course. We're nearly done working on our naval bases, and that's a very, very good thing. Cool. 2 weeks until all of our naval bases are done. Then we're going to be working on pure economy from there. Now, in theory, 1 week. We've just got these 2 naval bases, so that's looking magnificent. Okay. There's our naval bases done. So, what do we want to do from here? Well, our standard of living is continuing to be struggling. It's mostly because of our lower strata. And, I mean, the taxes are a big part of that. Their largest expenses are grain, meat, and groceries. And the biggest problem is that they're peasants in subsistence building. So getting them removed out of peasantry would be absolutely the way to go. We're working on that, but we're having a hard time keeping up with our population growth. This means that we need to expand our construction sectors. Or get better construction tech. One or the other. For now, we're going to expand this construction sector. There we go. And that'll do. We'll get a bunch of these plantations built. Another thing that we could certainly do is look to reduce the price of grain. That's another option, for sure. But for the time being, I'm going to hold off on that. I'm very, very interested right now in getting these unemployment numbers down. Getting everybody employed would be a huge, huge boon for us in every category. So that's definitely going to be a thing. 10% political strength for the trade unions, but we would get interest group approval. So we'll grab that. That seems okay. And what is that actually going to do to their revolution? Not much, I think, overall. They're just chilling at 79. But I don't think migration controls would be a bad thing. I just don't think it's strictly necessary. So putting this through after colonial exploitation seems okay, assuming that the odds are okay for it, and that they don't make everybody too angry. It's a possibility. We'll see. So we're just working on our auto queues for right now. I want to make sure that all of these are set up properly for auto queue. We'll just get those put on in here. France wants a defensive pact with us. Well, isn't that interesting? What do we think about that? That's Italy. What? I misclicked it. Okay, this makes more sense. So France is like really weak in comparison. I think we decline, but it's definitely fascinating that France wants a defensive pact. We're flattered, but we're not going to accept it. That's the way this is going to work. Cool. So all of this is being worked on. This is all auto queues here, and we are up over 3,000 construction now. Anything expensive? I mean, we need taxation capacity. We have some market access issues. Opium is still considered expensive. So I wouldn't mind bringing this up to plus 20 again. And this up to plus 20 again. There we go. And we'll let that go for the time being. Colonial exploitation does not pass here. Now France wants an alliance. We decline that as well. Unpopular compromises with the scholar officials, but I think it's okay. We'd like to pass this bill as soon as we can. So we'll get that underway. We have all of these opium plantations being built. Opium is definitely considered expensive right now. So that's fine. We are going to get socialism in 12 weeks. And what all does that unlock again? It does give us access to graduated taxation. That's interesting. Would graduated taxation actually be a useful thing for us? Very is the answer. Hey, plus to taxation capacity. I like it. Technically, proportional taxation would be better than graduated, and both are going to be hard for us to pass. So we'll see how that ends up going. But anything that we can do in here, I mean, we could bump up our social security, but we're not going to. That may help out dramatically in our government administration, so. Yeah, we don't have any shortages there. That's what I like to see. Are we building any railways right now? No, okay. So how are we doing for infrastructure? Looks like we do require some work here. A lot of these are being privately constructed. So just build one in Western Hubei. Okay. Our GDP is currently soaring. I like it. The real question is, what else is considered expensive here? It's mostly grain. So once we get these opium constructions done, we should probably target reducing the price of grain somewhat. And yeah, there's some market access issues. I'm aware of that. Most of those are being worked on. And that seems reasonably fine, all things considered. That was a government administration on page 4. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure how that got there, but whatever. That's fine. So we've got all of these auto queues being worked on. Completely okay there. We can work on scaling up our economy that way. No problems whatsoever, although we have dipped slightly negative. That's fine. We've got plenty of gold reserves. I don't care about that. No worries whatsoever there. There's socialism unlocked. So, that doesn't actually unlock our institution. But we could now grab political agitation if we wanted to. It's definitely an option. It's available at this point. We already have steel frame buildings. We could go for elevators. We could go for pneumatic tools. And head down to arc welding. But I think we're better off waiting on that. Shift work is an interesting option for the economy of scale building level cap. That would actually increase our throughput by a very large amount in a lot of our buildings. So I think we take shift work here. That should help our economy dramatically. Uyghur people are apparently migrating to Flanders. Okay. That's fair enough. They failed their rebellion, so they're out of here. And actually, that revolution for migration controls has failed. So that's okay. We actually don't mind the Uyghurs leaving. I don't know how many people they actually have there, but if our population drops a little bit, that's okay. We have more people than we can employ, and we're struggling to get our building speed up high enough. Okay, Russia's trying this again. Why? Why are you doing this, Russia? We're going to get war reparations from, like, literally everybody. All of the war reparations. And then, maybe we're going to take some territory from them, too. So, we would conquer this state here. We would conquer probably some of the state up here. I wish that we could just click in here. That would be nice. We can have... We're at 79 maneuvers right now. These can be secondary war reps. I think that's completely fine. I do want our conquers to be primary war reps. Or rather, primary claims. So I want to conquer a few additional states here. Actually, it'd be kind of funny to conquer all of this up here. That would be kind of funny, actually. What state is this? Okay, so that is... apparently not in here? Apparently not in here. It's not exactly the easiest to read here, is it? Well, we could conquer this little area down here. We're already taking this, so that's fine. I would love to take... Yeah, a lot of these are not actually listed in here. Or they're listed under different names. Okay. Well, we are currently the holder of all of these. Got it. So essentially this is giving us states that we already have partial control over. That's fine. So we will grab additional claims from over here. Something along the lines of that. And I guess we can just continue working through this list. We have 22 left, and we can add some of these to primary. So if they back down, they'll give us this. We have 9 maneuvers left here, and is there anything else that we can grab? No. Okay. They're not going to be very happy about this. They're very confident right now. They should not be confident right now. So, we're going to go through this, and we're just going to keep doing what we're doing until here. Then we're going to turn up our military. And suddenly they're going to be very, very, very upset. Colonial exploitation should pass fairly soon. In theory. Okay. So we're now in this stage here. The only country... Let's see. Mexico sided with Russia. The only country that could side with anybody is Britain. They're probably not going to. Minus 50% colony growth speed? Sure. We really don't care about colony growth speed. That's fine. So we're going to hop into our buildings now, and we're going to bump this down to skirmish infantry, mobile artillery, and we're going to go to first aid here. And now, all of a sudden, 26,876 strength, compared to 4,078. But wait, there's more. We can turn up our military wages. Yes, that puts us very negative financially. But we can turn up our military wages, and while we're at it, we'll turn up our taxes here. There we go. That's not nearly so bad financially. And we could actually add consumption taxes that would do a decent amount here. We can add a consumption tax for liquor, a consumption tax for tea, a consumption tax for luxury furniture, and we're positive. Boom. Beautiful. So, no financial issues here. 40,000 army power projection. Russia's locked into this. And we could add, say, who of these? Finland? Okay, Finland, Mexico, and Orta. Probably Mexico has the highest GDP, right? Yeah, Mexico has the highest GDP. So we want to make the Mexican war reparations be primary, but we actually can't do that. Okay. Never mind. Okay, so if they back down, which they're going to do, we're going to get a bunch of these territories. Now, we're not going to get Perm, but we're going to get 3 states out of this, and Russian war reps. Now, we did tick back negative. We have an ammunition input goods shortage. I'm not shocked about that. So let's grab some munitions plants here. Sort by labor, and we're going to build 51 of these in southern Anhui. Now, we're definitely going to require additional railways here. No doubt about that, but this will be a top priority here. And we're just continuing to scale up our military there. We're going to add in at least 1 additional railway there. That is going to be necessary. And Russia's going to back down here. We're the #1 power in the world. They just didn't realize it. So, this is not going to go well for Russia at all. Russia's embargoing us. Britain broke off their trade agreement. Now, we are running a deficit right now. We could toss in additional consumption taxes, but I actually think I'm completely fine. Well, you know what? We should run consumption taxes on all of the -100s, and because these are the -100 costs are the things that are least likely to affect our lower strata. So we put in wine, we put in glass, and we put in sugar. And that's all of them that are -100. Nothing else that we're particularly interested in there. And then we can drop our taxes and then the consumption taxes in that order. Because I think that'll be the better way to bump up our standard of living. Have we bumped up our navy? We have not. We're still chilling on base level for basically all of this, though. So, okay, that's absolutely fine. No problems there. We're doing really well financially. Like, Russia doesn't have a prayer here. They do not win this. Han people are now going to Flanders as well, huh? Man, if our colonial exploitation ever passes, we might actually want to consider putting in some migration controls. That said, Han people are, I believe, a accepted culture, so they would not actually be prevented. It's because of our standard of living issues, to be clear. And yes, they are currently dropping their standard of living. That is not super shocking here. Only 13% of them are receiving welfare. You know what? We probably should bump up our welfare. Since we're running a decent surplus, even with our war breaking out here... Oh, wow, they're actually going to fight us. I fully expected them to back down. Okay, I did not raise up our military. We're going to need to do some military here. There are 3 fronts. Okay. How many total troops do they have? They didn't mobilize anybody either. Okay, so this is just awkwardness ensuing where we're at war, but no one quite realizes it. Sure, we'll head on over this way, and we'll head on over this way. Okay. So we're at war, and we're going to head on over. I don't know that we're going to need more troops than this. We will arrive here. Well, we're already here. We'll arrive at some of these other locations soon enough. And yeah, we've got a lot of reserves. So yeah, a lot of these are in garrisons. We'll see what happens when we arrive here. Like, offensively, are we going to be okay over here? I suspect so. But we'll see what happens with the first battle. If we need to send additional troops over here, we will. The battle's over here. Okay, 70 defense, 20 offense. Yeah, we need to give time for our military to tick up. That's okay. I'm not too concerned about that realistically. Opium is considered expensive right now, but not really ammunition. So that's okay. Let's definitely produce some additional opium here. So opium plantations, I'm going to add in 20 here and 20 here. Apparently that's all we can do. Okay, never mind. So that's the amount that we'll do. Okay, so yeah, we need more time here for our offense to work up because we had our military turned down. So that'll be something that happens over time. But I am going to recruit another general from the North China HQ, or actually, from the South China HQ, from the armed forces, and you are going to be promoted on up. 3, 4, and 5. You're going to be mobilized, and you're going to head out over here to help out. The rest of these fronts should be fine. Realistically. Yeah, they are. They're completely fine. This front here is going to be a little bit awkward for us, but you can see our offense is ticking upwards, so that'll be fine, and we'll just send some additional reinforcements in here. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Our standard of living is dropping off due to our consumption taxes and our increased tax rate. This isn't shocking, and that's a lot of government expenses, but we're going to do it anyway. Cool. We're technically losing this war right now, but that's not going to remain the case. Cool. So we're going to clean up these fronts eventually. How's this battle looking now? Hilarious. 90 defense? Yeah. We need to give this time. That's okay. It takes a while for the switch to happen. That's acceptable. We're making our way through the other fronts. This will get wrapped up soon enough. So let's see what happens with this colonial exploitation here. It is time to put a cut in, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we'll see how this war with Russia plays out. I'm actually shocked that they didn't immediately back down, but it was probably because we put so much into it. But this is actually better for us. We're going to conquer a number of states here. We are notorious right now, so we'll have to let that drop off, but that's okay. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadow Wolf, and Lohan80, Rogue Corvid, Kentogan, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Anna the Elephant, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.